Take a nice deep breath. Go right, breathe into your heart. One of the fastest ways to bring yourself back to who you are is your breath. Feel the breath in your heart. Bring right here. Breathe right into your heart. Greetings, dear precious divine being, sweet soul, who's never been harmed or hurt, because at the level of who you are, you're pure, holy, and divine, and always will be, and always have been, and beyond all of these words. And that's my work, for you to be all that you can be, now and forever, eternally, free of fear and guilt and all of this crazy stuff that we've all been born into, so to speak. But we've never been born, and we never die. We're eternal beings. Here's the key. Here's something we want to talk about. Got to get a title for this one. It's how to recover from a mistake. How to recover from a mistake. See, this is what gets is when I gave up alcohol, divine took away the, God took away the taste of the divine because I didn't want it anymore. It's the very same as like if you're going to change your food plan. I call it diet. I don't like the word diet because it's killing you. It's dying you. All right. Is that because the addictions that we get, because there's some pleasure there, but also a lot of pain. But there's that pleasure of the tongue. And the tongue is the hardest to control as to what we eat and what we say. It's such a pleasure center, but it's also the mouth can give out vile, nasty things that come from the mind that, and then that person is like a walking, talking sewer or garbage dump. And you get the venom, the hatred, and all that. They have no idea what they're doing to themselves and how ugly they look and how ugly they are. And they think it's actually going to damage someone else, but they're damaging themselves in that situation. All right. When we discover a mistake that we've made, the tendency is self-hatred. Even that, when we realize something that we've done, like I was at the market yesterday and I took back this hat and that was for a friend, and it didn't fit. It was too big, but I didn't have the receipt. But I, had all the things on it, and I shop there all the time. They know who I am. I've been there for years. Well, I didn't have the receipt, and so I told the checkout guy, nice guy, and because you see the same people all the time, and he looked a little funny, but I didn't quite notice it. And I thought, well, because I'm here all the time, probably didn't need a receipt. Well, he did the thing and all that. But later on, I started to notice, I think I put him in an awkward position. And I'm going to go correct that today and see what I need to do. And yet I wanted to feel and I started to feel really bad because I thought, oh my, it's yucky. Maybe his rule there is you couldn't take it. I don't care who it is if you didn't have a receipt. But he did that for me for some reason at all, and that put him in a difficult situation. So I said, oh, I got to make a correction there. Now, part of it, I normally is like, God, I'm so horrible. What a terrible person. I'm cheating, maybe. And this person could lose his job. Oh, how horrible. How could I do? And thinking back, you go back to raising my children. Some of the things, not breastfeeding because it wasn't the thing. We had Dr. Spock, and I even had a mother-in-law said, don't pick up your children when they cry, but I did anyway. I could see what happened to her son. But, the stuff we did to our bodies and to, gosh sakes, what would you say? How we started to pattern ourselves in our lives. To get over this self-abuse, this hatred of self, because we projected also on hatred of others. And the mind, this is how it deals. Because as you start to feel good about more and more of who you are, just the feeling good because it's who you are, the mind wants to get back in there and say, you can't do that because this isn't going to work and that's not going to work. And if you feel good like this, you're not going to correct because you're really an awful person. And then, see, we have, understand, or no, we have full memory. People say they're going to take your memory. Well, they really cannot do that. They can do things in the brain and they could do things like this. And yet who you are and on these things are beyond the control of others. And just as certain smells will trigger a memory, or it could be a song, it could be something somebody says, a location, as I said, the fragrance or the sight, and something will come up that you remember from, could be, I've gone through many past lives, unbelievable, of getting into the game. And it's all there. And when we own all that we've done and haven't done and coulda, shoulda, or woulda done but didn't, and all that, it's a horrible burden. And something especially happens to children, our children, and I know because my daughter passed from things that, I maybe could have done differently, or that, but we can just, yes, I know, or I could have done more for my mom. I said, and oftentimes I thought, gosh, if I had only known then what I know now. That's why I want everyone that when you have your parents, really try and step back and to really acknowledge they did the best they knew how. Because when everybody, there's always the last time you're going to see someone in this particular physical body. And yet, they keep reincarnating, getting new bodies and all that. Everybody gets back together. And, oh, yeah, I knew you. I remember you in my past life, and I did this and that, blah, 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 blah. But when is it going to be your last past life? When is it going to be your last birth? When is it you're going to then get the message, get what's going on? And the big part of that is to be able to let go of that guilt. And then how we punish ourselves. And there are these programs of self-punishment. Especially also I found that when people have such desperate need to be appreciated, to be acknowledged, to be recognized. And I know a lot too, because I had wanted to be famous too, and glamorous and all that, because this is in the movies, this is how it was. And when I attained all that, there was so much good too, because I got to do my work and get, my books out there of my own travels through this realm and my own realizations. And now to have found what it was that I was looking for and having the code, you might say, of breaking that code of what has kept this reality intact and the suffering of people and animals, humanity and animals, and all of the wars and all of this. And to liberate ourselves from this free will reality where it appears like you have a choice. You don't need a choice. I mean, in a sense, this is your life to live as you choose, but most of us are not living and being who we are. We're fulfilling a program. We have a script. We're a character. Just like when people, I used to have the astrologies and things done years ago, they had value. I'm not putting it down, but I'm going, a lot of them say, well, you have to do this and then this is going to happen there. And I go, I broke those patterns. That's not the truth. These are limitations. Anything in a word is going to limit you. Anything and everything. And then it's saying, well, you're a category here, you're a this, you're a that, I'm a number here, my numeral, my this, and all of this, and all of what people go through to try and deal with the guilt, and then they go through the story and who's to blame and what they did, or then they got to take some drugs to knock themselves out so that they don't feel this. And then after a while, and the depression is there, and the constant anxiety and the worm of anxiety, constant, but it's so simple to get rid of. And you don't get rid of it by hating it and getting rid of it and then thinking, well, I'll kill myself, I'm so bad. But then every time you reincarnate, you want to do the same thing, but it's the same thing over and over again. Stop it. This is over. And it's over because when you stop fueling it, and it's based on fear and guilt. And that basic thing comes from believing you are this physical body that can die. And then also believing and how all the electronics being set up as a web of electronic web that also can then interface with your brain and the chemicals and all of this and what people are eating and drinking and falling out of the air and all of this. Why? Because you're so powerful. Anything that's been manufactured and is artificial dies. We don't. It just is a thing. It has a beginning and an end. And the end of all of that comes for us in the moment we realize, with real eyes, and activate and actualize who we are and how it all works. And I really invite you, if you're serious about this, to contact me. Email me and let me know, and we'll work out something that I can help you and assist you, because this is my pleasure. This is what I love. And to invest in a retreat, in a workshop here where you get 20, 22, 25 hours out of continual work on you. And I keep them really, really small. Sometimes 2 people, 3, sometimes maybe 5 or 6, but no more than 6. Okay. And then, and you can, however you want to do. I even have one that I do for 21 days. I did that once before. I had 9 people at one time. It was fabulous. But however it is, for 1, for 2, whatever, you completely transform and support yourself in every single aspect of your life. And be ye transformed by the renewing, not of your mind, of yourself, a renowing of yourself and who you are. And a big part of this right now is to notice how much you've been abusing yourself in the mind. And what you've been doing and what you've been proving. And making these obstacles and these blockages. And once you notice that, once you do, you got to know where it's coming from. And now, with everything you can, you stay centered. And when you go off, if you go off, like when I gave up alcohol, and I gave up, it's like the change in the food and the diet, the tendency is, I fell off the wagon, I fell off the diet, I fell off the plan, I was not nice today, I flipped off the guy driving, I was a speed demon. Oh man, I was sitting there smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Oh my God. It's all right. You needed to do that. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, let go. Get back on. Start again. You see. Stop terrorizing yourself. And once you start doing that, because it's the guilt and the fear that makes us develop these habits of deprogramming and suffering and death. Now, just imagine how you'll be free of all that. And you go, oh, could I handle it? There you go. There's the mind. Love you lots.